in your opinion, body count, man versus woman, what's your take on this concept?
I think people get hung up on like the number, right? Especially when they talk about women.
Yeah.
You'll
By
see
the
that-
way, men never admit your number. Women, I know you won't admit your number.
Yeah.
So just words of the wise.
Exactly.
You're not cool bragging about how many you've been with. That's
yeah,
it.
you're never
As you were saying, sir.
even if I ask a girl that I'm dating, like, how many guys have you been with? She's never going to give me the correct answer because there's
You're
always
my
going to be
first.
there's always going to be a
Okay.
guy that doesn't count.
Yeah.
There's always going to be maybe there'll be a handful of drunk nights she actually doesn't actually remember. Like there's always going to be that exception, right? So I'm never going to get the honest to God's answer out of her. It's the truth.
Allie just went somewhere. I don't know.
Ah, right. So, okay, it's less about like the actual number per se, and it's more about the kinds of dudes she was with who've kind of left an imprint on her. Because the reason why guys get hung up about body count in general is because, okay, if I get into a relationship with this girl, typically, if she's had a lot more partners than a girl who's had less partners, the girl with more partners is probably going to be like not as pleasant to be in a relationship with. She might be a bit more entitled, maybe a bit more like bratty, maybe a bit more combative, just in general, than a girl who's had less partners, right? However, that is probably the case more often than not because she's been with a dude who was just better than you.
Yes.
She was with some dude who was like, you know, a celebrity of some kind, maybe a professional athlete, maybe who was like, she just can't get that imprint of him out of her brain.
I believe this terminology is called alpha widowed, right?
Bingo.
Yeah, so explain that a little bit if you would.
Well, an alpha widow is exactly the situation I just described. So she was with some dude in her life who was the best guy she has ever been with. He ticked all the boxes,
Yeah.
and then he let her go, and now she can't get over him. So she's always comparing, even if it's subconsciously, she's
Yeah.
always comparing every other guy she gets with to that dude.
The